Hello and welcome back to Between the Covers with Danielle. I am so grateful to have you here with me today. The book community is so vast, so encouraging, so supportive, and there are a lot of me out there, people that love literature and love to talk about it. So the fact that you're watching this today means the absolute world to me. Today, I want to talk about books that are life-changing. We hear things thrown around all the time. This book changed my life. And literature has that power. So today, I'm going to take you through some of the books that have literally changed me. Not dramatically, not theatrically, but they have permeated into my soul. They have resonated with me and spoken to me at such a deep, almost existential, metaphysical level that they stay with me and I return to them time and time again. But as this is where we have bubbles and books and champagne and chats, let's start with a drink. Today, we are sipping a beautiful, approachable, exquisite, light, sparkling French champagne. This is Pierre LaRousse Blanc de Blanc. And this gadget that my brother gave me is absolutely the best thing for opening bubbles if you have talons like me. So I'll just pour this in here. Now, the tasting notes are crisp green apple, soft florals, and what else do we have here? We have crisp green apple, a citrus lift, soft florals, and a clean, refreshing finish. Let's give it a taste and see. Oh, that is lovely. And this is actually super duper affordable, this bubbles. It's lovely. It's unpretentious. It is the literary equivalent of good fiction in a glass. Cheers. Let's get started. Let's begin with the book that didn't just move me, it haunted me. Shuggie Bain is raw, intimate, and painfully human. It centers on Shuggie, a tender, effeminate boy growing up in 1980s Glasgow, and his mother, Agnes, who is brilliant, glamorous, and slowly being consumed by addiction. This novel rearranged something inside me. It's not trauma for spectacle, it's survival rendered with dignity. It explores the kind of love that shapes you even when it breaks you. There's a quote that comes to mind when I think of this book. You can't change the past, only how you feel about it. I don't know where that quote came from, but it resonates with this story. Shuggie taught me that tenderness isn't weakness, that softness can survive even the hardest worlds, and that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is to stay gentle. This book, it lives under my skin. If you haven't read it, please read it. It is beautiful. I just wanted to pluck Shuggie out of the pages and bring him home. As a mother, you can see the unintentional damage that Agnes has done to her family. All of her other children leave home frustrated with how difficult it is to live with her. Her husband left her. Shuggie is the only one that stays to love her unconditionally and take care of her. He is a beautiful, beautiful boy, and I fell in love with him. There we go. Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stuart, the first book that absolutely changed me. Evelyn Hugo, a hurricane in silk, a woman who refuses to apologise for wanting more, bigger, louder, brighter. What changed me wasn't the glamour, it was the ownership. Evelyn decides how she'll be seen. She decides which stories belong to her and which don't. This book taught me that reinvention isn't betrayal, it can be survival, it can be liberation. My favourite quote from this book: never let anyone make you feel ordinary. Evelyn Hugo didn't just stay with me, she sharpened me. She gave me the courage to recognise and celebrate how I have reinvented myself through my life. Wife, mother, makeup artist, fashion stylist, going back to university in my 30s to get a double degree in theology and philosophy, then turning all of that around to work in beauty, in administration, and try everything. It is better to live with the regret of the things that you have done than those that you haven't. A little snapshot into the book, if you haven't read this. Evelyn is a famous movie star, very private. As she ages, she decides in her 80s, in her 70s, in the 80s, to finally acquiesce to being interviewed. And she chooses a nobody, a very unknown, very unpublished journalist to write her story. And from that, we learn about her history. We learn about her amazing life, the husbands, but we also have a strong twist in there as to why Evelyn chose Monique, the journalist, to write her story. This is one of my absolute favorite reads. And if you haven't read this by Taylor Jenkins Reid, please try it. I will be very surprised if you don't fall in love with Evelyn as well. So yummy. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is the kind of book that doesn't walk into your life. It slips in like a ghost and lingers like perfume on your collar. Addie is a woman who bargains for freedom and immortality at the cost of being forgotten. Hers is a life lived in the shadows until one day, one person sees her. What stayed with me was the way this novel explores visibility. I'm not talking about fame or attention. I'm talking about that bone-deep human hunger to be known. My favourite quote from this book: what is a person if not the marks they leave behind? Addie reminds you that your life doesn't need applause, it needs meaning. A quick synopsis without too many spoilers. In 1714, Addie makes a deal with a dark god that she calls Luke, meaning Lucifer, for immortality and freedom. The cost of that is she can never say her name, and as soon as she leaves someone's sight, they forget her. So for 300 years, she lives as a ghost. She can't say who she is. Everybody that meets her forgets her. So she has lovers. She's inspiration for art, but she's always forgotten, always invisible. But one day she walks into a bookstore, I think it's New York from memory, and meets the owner of the bookstore, whose name is Henry. She goes back to that bookstore and he remembers her. So we move forward from there. I won't give too much away. Luke reappears throughout her life as well, but there's also, you find out a connection between Luke and Henry. So this is one of my what I call desert island books. If I had to cull my book collection down to a handful of books, this would stay with me. This particular one is a treasure. This is the limited edition illustrated version, and it is also signed by Victoria Schwab. So this is a truly magical, life-changing book. It encourages you to not surrender to the whims and the fads of the world, but to live in your truth and to value meaning and the importance of family and visibility in the eyes of people you love and who love you back. Now, this one is a curveball because it didn't comfort me. It unsettled me. It cracked something open. The Shack is about a parent swallowed by grief and forced into an isolated space that becomes a crucible, a place where pain is confronted, dismantled, and reassembled. It's not about theology as much as it is about the architecture of grief, about the way trauma buries you and what it takes to come up for air again. My favorite quote from this book is quite unusual. Forgiveness is about letting go of another person's throat. This book taught me that healing isn't neat. It's messy, it's fiery, it's uncomfortable, but most importantly, it's possible. I have never cried so much and struggled so much to read a book. At the time I read this book, my youngest daughter was the same age as Missy, Mac's daughter, when she disappeared. As a theology and philosophy graduate, there was a lot of controversy in the theological world when this book came out, which actually expanded when the film version came out. In the film version, we have God, who is called Papa in the book, played by an African-American woman. There is also Jesus, there is also Sareu, as the Holy Spirit. So in a nutshell, Mac goes to his mailbox one day after his daughter has gone missing. She's never been found. A cabin near where she disappeared was found with blood and the dress that she was wearing. He goes to his mailbox one day and there's a note from Papa, who his wife refers to God as, telling him to go to the shack. From there is this incredible existential experience that he goes through to help him confront his grief, his anger, his hurt, his unforgiveness and coldness, the shell that he's built up. One of the reasons that I am no longer a pastor is because I 100% agree with the depiction of God as being of no gender, as being able to be male or female. This is a harrowing, difficult read, especially if you're a parent, especially if you have a daughter. But it is 1000% worth reading. If you haven't read The Shack or seen the movie, please read the book first and then have a look at the film. Amazing. This book 1000% will change you and change your views potentially of faith, of healing, of forgiveness, of trust and redemption. If Addie LaRue asks what it means to be seen, How to Stop Time asks what it means to truly live. Tom Hazard ages unbearably slowly. He's not immortal, but he's lived hundreds of years inside one body. Tom doesn't need more time. What he needs is more presence. This novel reframed time in the gentlest way, not as something you're losing, but as something you can choose to inhabit. My favorite quote from this book is, "You don't need to live forever, you just need to live." This book reminded me that meaning isn't found in the length of a life, but in the depth of it. As someone who has spanned two paradoxical careers and lives as far as work is concerned, from the superficiality of beauty to sitting beside someone's bedside, performing last rites as they're dying, to someone who has led funerals, this is a very, very true reminder that the quality of your life is far more important than the length of it. Tom looks about 40 odd, and he was actually born in the 1500s. He's not the only person on earth in this book that is blessed or cursed with an extraordinarily long life. There is a group of other people like him, all members of a society or governed by a society called the Albatross Society. Now, the Albatross Society have very strict rules. The strictest is you cannot fall in love. But Tom falls in love. He falls in love with a woman called Camille. And there are a lot of events that transpire and a lot of dangers associated with him falling in love. And he has to make a very, very drastic choice as to how that plays out for him and for the woman that he loves. This is a very eye-opening, sobering book that really reminds you that the superficiality of existence can so easily be overrated compared to investing in the truth and relationships and experiences rather than materiality. This is a phenomenal read. Matt Haig has nailed this character 1000%. So these are the books that didn't just entertain me, they altered me. So tell me below in the comments, which book has taken up permanent residence in your bloodstream? Any of these or any others, I would love to know. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring the bell, share it, and join me next week when we talk about the 5 books that I wish I could reread for the first time, paired as always with a new drink. Until then, pour something beautiful, open something brilliant, and as always, be sure to slip between the covers.